Are you ready?
Alyx, I just want to congratulate you on 10 years of YouTube channel. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you survived that, but it's super awesome because I couldn't do it for 10 minutes, let alone 10 years. Hey everybody, it's Badass Billy Gunn and you're watching Just Alyx. It's not scripted, we just wing it and have a bunch of fun. If you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it.
Initiating login sequence. Welcome to Alyx's world.
Hello all and welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I am your host, Alyx, just Alyx. AEW, All Elite Wrestling made their Toronto, Canada, or specifically Canada debut. And I gotta say, if you are looking for a show with a hot crowd, I feel like this was a success. A massive success for All Elite Wrestling. We gotta come back. Not just back to Toronto. Let's go to Montreal. Let's go all over Canada. Wherever you want to go. Well, Toronto and Montreal for sure. But yeah, great crowd tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed All Elite Wrestling. Dynamite. And for the most part, I thought it was a great show. There were a couple of things on it that I won't say were bad, but were questionable. Namely, the Daniel Garcia stuff, the Mark Sterling, the smart Mark Sterling stuff with the Acclaimed, and whatever else I can come up with. But for the most part, those two things, we'll see. I do appreciate that we're trying to incorporate more storylines, more storytelling back into the product, which is great. Everything they're doing with Chris Jericho and the Ring of Honor Championship, fantastic. Well done. Keep that up. That being said, and I'll get more into this when I talk about Chris Jericho, anyone else starting to feel like the Ring of Honor Championship feels more important than the AEW Championship? Just wanted to ask you that question first before I give you my opinion. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say about that. Is that a reflection on the booking? Maybe the Ring of Honor title was getting a lot more to work with and therefore it feels more important? Or maybe it's just Chris Jericho is just a better champion than Jon Moxley. I don't know. Y'all decide. But yeah, I loved everything. Outside the two things I didn't like, loved the main event. Orange Cassidy is your new All-Atlantic champion. They had an excellent match. I still feel like Pac and Orange Cassidy had their best match at Revolution 2020. But this might be their second best match. This was outstanding. Just an awesome performance from both men. And a great wrap-up. A great wrap-up to their feud. I enjoyed the women's match, the tag team match with the women. Hikaru Shida gets the pin on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jamie Hayter continues to be over like Rover. MJF is showing a bit of a heart. Is he showing a softer side? Is the devil starting to come back to heaven? Is he growing his angel wings again? Is Lucifer regrowing his angel wings? Samoa Joe and Wardlow is over like Rover. FTR are even more over like Rover. And the return of Perfect 10 Shawn Spears, which I didn't expect to happen, but love seeing that. Daddy Ass Billy Gunn was a massive hit during his match with Shane Swerve Strickland. And then, of course, the amazing promo work with Hangman Page and Jon Moxley. we'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of your favorite things. But also we'll get into some wrestling news. Ariel Helwin was in the news today for some comments he left on his podcast. In an interview with Tony Khan, our boy, he was asking Tony about CM Punk, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, MJF. All very personal, controversial shit that went down. He literally tried to ask him about all the hot button issues. And what he got in response was Tony going, not gonna talk about that, brother. Can't talk about that, brother. And Ariel, as a response, came on his podcast and said that was the most frustrating interview he's ever done. And he got heat for it. Did he deserve that heat? Well, let's react to that when we get to it. And whatever else I can come up with, we'll talk about. So, thank you all for joining me. I apologize for coming up here later than I wanted to. My computer just got a Windows update, and it's been... I don't know about y'all, but these Windows updates, I feel like they're making my computer slower. Anyone else feel that way? Like these updates are making my computer slower on purpose because they want me to buy they want me to buy a new computer that can handle the updates. Yeah, you ever just feel like this is me being my conspiracy theory self. You ever just feel like when they send you, by they I mean the people in charge, the companies, Microsoft, the ones that actually run things, you ever feel like they send you these updates to make the older devices slower, so then you would be forced, you would have no choice but to buy the newer versions? Is it just me, or is that kind of what it is? Does anybody else agree with me on that? Who knows? But yeah, anyways, that was the reason why I didn't go live immediately, and I had to wait an hour. But I'm here. We still gonna talk about Dynamite. We're still gonna talk about wrestling, and you're still gonna get the best commentary here on YouTube. So let's pay these bills, and then we'll get right to the review. If this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. While you're at it, help expand the brand, doing the following things. Join the membership today. Click that join button and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing. Whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or review, past, present, or future. Don't forget to give thanks. Hit that super thanks if you're watching after the fact. Of course, if you would like to donate. You can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at Just Alex Central. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on Spotify. And give me a follow on TikTok. For I am the tickest of the talkest. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo. And yes, Super Chats are officially on. You can donate at any point in time during the broadcast to get your thoughts played live on the air. Email me at justalexisworld@gmail.com for business inquiries, just to say hi, and please get yourself a t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees or Teespring. Get you an old school Gillespie t-shirt, get you a new school Alex's World t-shirt, but most importantly, get you a long hair, blue eyes, apple pie. America, the remix t-shirt made by Itch, Jane Ox, and Firestar Heart. All of this down below in the description box. And today's sponsor is Amazon Music Unlimited. If you're looking for a service that's going to give you all the best music and the best quality while listening to it, but also the best deals, Amazon Music Unlimited is for you. How is it that you can get this? Well, I'm glad you asked. Your boy could hook you up with this simple deal. How's about we get a quick word from the sponsor that will get you that deal? And then, of course, we'll get to some shoutouts. Today's video is sponsored by Amazon Music Unlimited, featuring 70 million songs and thousands of expert playlists. With Amazon Music Unlimited, you can listen to any song, anytime, anywhere, on all your devices. Smartphone, tablet, PC, Fire TV, and even Amazon Echo. Today, if you sign up using the link getamazonmusic.com, just Alex, you'll get a 90-day free trial that you can cancel at any time. Following that, you'll be paying a small $7.99 that includes no ads and no interruptions. Take advantage of this opportunity today using GetAmazonMusic.com just Alyx in the description below. All right, welcome everybody. Thank y'all for being here. The audience is a little low tonight, and that's cool. I am showing up a little later than usual. Perhaps if I had started sooner. If I had started sooner, then I think it would have been higher. But who knows? It might get a little higher over time because I am streaming live with other big YouTubers here. And usually I'm not even gonna lie, my AEW streams don't do as well as my WWE streams. They used to do pretty well, but as of lately, because WWE is hot and everyone is talking about the returns, as they should be, these AEW streams have kind of dipped in viewership. Could just be me. Might be the timing of it all. But regardless, please know I appreciate you for making me a part of your day. So before we get into the shoutouts, please show some love to the moderators. Ultra, Shawn 97, 5-star Heart, Alyx, Demi, and Godzilla Hulk, who help keep this a safe space for wrestling fans like you. And of course, saying hello to the YouTube members. Do I have any YouTube members? I'm pretty sure I saw one. Maybe I'm blind. I don't see no green. Oh, no YouTube members today. It'd be like that sometimes. Maybe they'll show up in a second. I do see that super chat though. So how's about we play that super chat? Okay, well it should be playing. Come on.
I like when MJF was sitting in the upper deck doing the Michael Jackson meme eating popcorn during the Mox and Page promo.
That boy's trying to get himself, he's trying to create the new GIF. The GIF that keeps on giving. I love it. Now, I think we can just go ahead and get to the shoutouts. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and get the shoutouts here. Oh, that's right. Almost forgot one of the most important things. Please like the video. The more you like the video, the more opportunities I will have to be recommended here on YouTube. I've been doing pretty well with my likes as of lately. Even my uploads, the shorts, have been getting a lot of likes, and that's been pushing them into the algorithm. So seriously, if you don't think the likes help, I'm telling you firsthand, they do help. So if you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video. And what's actually kind of funny, people don't know that when you actually like the video, it helps get viewers. We tested that theory out. We've actually tested that theory out. Like, if we get a certain amount of likes in a short period of time, the viewers go up. So, if you would like to test that out with this video, like the video and see what happens. Alright, here we go. We got the following people. GenX6887, Hades, JoJo, Big MGM, Mark French. We also got... there's a lot of people in here. Hold on for a minute. Y'all be chatting it up, and I like that. Thank y'all for the interactions, by the way. It's always good to read your thoughts on wrestling. Khalil does everything. Everything? Everything! Ray Perkins, Nithrax, Leo Melanio, Barack Obama, 44th President, Mr. Barack Obama into his house. Good to have you, Barack. Joseph Winters. We also got Anthony What? I think I saw Nelly Nell in there. Yes, Nelly Nell is right there. Right there. George Diaz. Kyle. Christopher Carter, the Cerebral Assassin. Christopher Carter. Chase 5677. Is that Thorn Fisher? Thorn Fisher. BW Rossa. HS. Immortal Beast. Anastasia Radcliffe, Valhalla Erickson, James Rambo 87, Paid Enthusiast, and let's give the last one to John Beal II. Alright, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for making me a part of your day. Don't want to be up here too long. We got a lot to get to. We're going to hit it off with Ariel Helwani. Then we're going to get into Dynamite. So let me pause Super Chats. We'll get to those at the end of the stream, those who are watching. So, Ariel Helwani, perhaps a top-tier interviewer in the sports not just wrestling, but sports period, MMA and all that kind of stuff. He has been doing this for, I think, over a decade or so. He's been here for a while, and he's built quite a reputation for himself. And as you know, when he gets the opportunity to get interviews with people like Tony Khan, he wants to ask the big questions. And that's what he did a week ago, some time ago, when he had Tony Khan on his podcast. In this podcast, he asked Tony about Cody Rhodes. He asked Tony about MJF. He asked Tony about CM Punk, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega, the media scrum fallout. Now, as you guys know, that was kind of a fruitless effort. He should have never even thought about asking him about CM Punk and the Elite, because he can't talk about it. By he, I mean Tony legally can't talk about it because there's an investigation. So I don't know what he thought was going to happen. But he did ask him about MJF, and he did ask him about Cody. Tony Khan said, can't talk about that. For the most part, Tony just basically plugged the show, and he did mention that CM Punk had an office job. What? Yeah, CM Punk wore a suit. He had power like the Young Bucks and Omega. Not an EVP, but he had an office job. What that position was, I have no idea. That actually makes everything worse, because CM Punk, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks were in backstage positions, and they still did what they did. Oh, that's not good. But I don't know what Mr. Ariel Helwin was expecting, but what he got from Tony wasn't what he wanted. He didn't get what he wanted. And so, as a result, Ariel decided to vent his frustrations. He decided to go on Twitter and talk about why he didn't like what happened. So we're going to react to what he had to say about the Tony interview. And he had a lot to say. Once we hear what he says, you will get my reaction, and then I will leave the floor to you to give me your reaction. Here we go. Here's what he had to say about the Tony Khan interview.
Now, the Tony Khan interview. Did this interview with Tony Khan last Tuesday. It aired Wednesday night. It was for the YouTube channel. You could check it out. Look, whatever I'm going to say here is going to piss off the AEW supermarks. But I'll just say this. One of the most frustrating and, to a degree, not so fun interviews of my career. Because, as you may have seen, he didn't want to answer anything. Now, look, like, you're going to come on and promote X, Y, and Z. Great. And I'll play that dance with you. And I did at the beginning. But you got to give us something. To not even tell me, like, how you were feeling. I'm not asking for specifics on, all right, fine, I asked, is Punk going to wrestle for you? Is he coming back? You don't want to get into it? Fine. But just tell me how you were feeling. Give me something. Now, the Tony Khan interview.
So,
this interview with...
that's just a snippet. We'll react to that really quickly because there is more. Once again, why would you even go there? Why would you even go to the CM Punk, Omega, Young Bucks scrum, expecting him to talk about it? And yeah, he worded it as, well, he didn't have to give me specifics. He could tell us how he felt. What is that going to do? What do you want him to say? Oh, it felt amazing? Because if he would have said, well, I was disappointed by it, it would have been like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, I know what Ariel was looking for, but he should have known better. He should have known that Tony cannot talk about CM Punk or anything revolving around that scrum, the fallout of the scrum. However, I will say, if I was Tony Khan and I was being called in to do an interview with Ariel, I, knowing who Ariel is, would have said no. Can't do this interview. Because I know what you want, and I'm not going to waste your time. I can't talk about Punk. I won't talk about Cody. I won't talk about MJF. I won't talk about any of the backstage drama. I'm not going to come on your show to bury my talent roster. I'm not going to come on the show to tell you anything about how I run my show. And no, I'm not going to let you bury me either. Because that's something else I know Ariel probably wanted. He wanted Tony to go on the show and talk about, yeah, you know what, Ariel? I'm terrible at my job. Like, why would he do that? So I don't know what Ariel was looking for, but I'm sorry he didn't get what he wanted. But at the same time, it's not like Tony Khan gave you nothing. First off, having Tony Khan on your show is a big deal. That alone is a big deal. So you should already be grateful he came on the goddamn show. Number one. Number two, he still came on and talked about some things. He told you that CM Punk had an office job, which is actually pretty good. Didn't know that. I didn't see the whole interview, by the way, but they did talk about the show. They did promote some things. They did talk about certain talent. So it's not like he gave you nothing. He just didn't give you what you wanted. And that's just how it is. It'd be like that sometimes. We're not done yet, though. Let's go to another clip from Ariel. So he continues his rant with the following.
AEW in Toronto tonight. It's going to be great. My one regret was not asking about the 9,000 titles. Way too many titles in AEW. But here's the thing.
Way too many titles in WWE. Sorry. Oh, I'm going to get heat for that one. Gonna get heat for that one. Yes, I do agree that AEW is oversaturated with championships because they have the ROH belts and the AEW belts. I agree, 1,000%. It also doesn't help that the Ring of Honor Championship is getting more TV time than the AEW title. We'll talk more about it when we get to it. We'll get to it in just a second. But let's not pretend WWE doesn't have too many belts. I don't know why we have two women's champions, especially knowing that we have a set of women's tag team belts that isn't being defended. But, okay, sorry, continuing.
Titles in AEW. But here's the thing. If you are saying right now with a straight face that the AEW product is better than the WWE product, you're just a liar. You're just an absolute liar. There's no if, ands, or buts. The WWE product is infinitely better, infinitely more interesting, and there's a freaking brawl happening backstage each and every week, it seems. Meanwhile, it's all kumbaya on the Stanford side of things. Like,
how do you know that, Ariel? See, I'm interrupting him now because now he's in his feelings, and I can't really villainize him for feeling this way. Homeboy's hurt. He's hurt, and he's disappointed, and he's angry because Tony didn't give him what he wanted. So, of course, he's going off on AEW, saying that WWE is infinitely better, and then framing it as a fact, which... that's one of those things where I'm so glad, even in my most biased senses, my most biased times when I was like anti-WWE, and I was one of the most anti-WWE supporters for the longest time. If it wasn't AEW, it was NXT. If it wasn't NXT, it was Lucha Underground. And if it wasn't Lucha Underground, it was New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was never WWE. I was anti-WWE for the longest time, and I'll be the first one to tell you. But even in my most biased runs, I've never framed my opinions as facts. It's always been, this is how I feel. And I can proudly say that. Proudly say that. So I don't know why Ariel's doing this whole, well, you can't objectively say AEW is better than WWE. Well, no, but you can't objectively say WWE is better either. It's all subjective. Oh, I think AEW is better than WWE. That doesn't make me a liar. That just makes me a fan of AEW. And I prefer AEW over WWE. Is WWE interesting? Absolutely. Are they the highest they've been in years? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that I have to like it more than AEW. It's all subjective opinion. And I'm actually kind of disappointed that he's allowed his interview with Tony to affect his enjoyment of the shows. And I see people on Twitter giving him shit. Actually, let me finish the interview and we'll get more into that aspect. But, nah, man. The hell? Nah. You can't objectively say WWE is better than AEW. You just can't. Let me back this up a little bit.
on the Stanford side of things, like, if you're going to be a super fan, be a super fan, but also tell it like it is. 6 months ago wasn't the case. A year ago when Punk came back wasn't the case. When Bryan signed, when Moxie came, all that stuff wasn't the case. But right this second, if you're going to sit here and say that it's a better product, you're an absolute liar.
No, or I could just be an AEW fan. And also, getting back to the other point I was making about him claiming that there are no backstage issues with WWE. How the fuck do you know that? Maybe WWE is just better at keeping it under wraps. AEW's issue is that they put all their drama out on social media. You just know about it because AEW is terrible at hiding their issues. Because a lot of their issues happen on social media. And it happens to be with the same people, by the way. Just want to point that out there. But to just assume that WWE just isn't dealing with these issues is bullshit. It's bullshit. Especially knowing that he talks about a year ago, just 6 months ago, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Hello? Remember that? It happens in WWE too. Just so we're clear, it happens everywhere. WWE is just better at keeping it under wraps. And with Triple H in charge right now, of course there's people who are happy. There's people just dancing in daisies right now. Because Triple H is taking over. But this is the honeymoon period. How do we know a year from now we won't start seeing issues again? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. But, yeah, homeboy got his little feelings hurt because Tony Khan didn't give him what he wants. As you can imagine, people roasted him. People say, oh my God, Ariel Helwani, he's just mad that Tony couldn't talk legally about Punk. But what people were roasting him mostly about was the fact that I think a couple of months ago, he did an interview with Triple H. And not once did Ariel bring up Vince McMahon. You want to get the hot button stuff with AEW, but then when it comes to WWE, and the hottest thing this year so far is still Vince McMahon retiring, nothing. He asked him nothing about that. Because, and I keep bringing this back to Tony Khan in respect, he respects Triple H and WWE more. He knew better not to ask that question. But with AEW, with AEW and Tony Khan, we're seeing this pattern of disrespect when it comes to Tony. Not just with the wrestlers, not just with the fans, but with people in the industry not showing him that same respect. Ariel is smart enough to know that Tony was never going to talk about any of those issues. Cody, MJF, CM Punk, Kenny, the Bucks. Even if he asked him about Eddie and Sammy or Sammy and Andrade, why would he talk about that? He should have known that was never going to happen. But he doesn't respect him. Quite frankly, I'm shocked Tony still went through with the interview. Well, anyways, Ariel got roasted, and he decided to respond to the freakazoids on Twitter. Here's what he had to say. He had to say the following. You AEW freakazoids are nuts. You're all mad that I said I didn't enjoy one interview, yet for the past year plus, every time I talk about wrestling, I have praised the product. Said WWE was stale, blah, blah, blah. Said it on Simmons Pod in July, my show, 100 times. Look it up and chill out. Sheesh. And another you're going to notice this. Like, he keeps going. He keeps going for a while. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to read tidbits here. If me saying the interview wasn't enjoyable offends you because you liked it, thanks. I appreciate it. If you want to defend the non-answers, most of which had nothing to do with the legal stuff, but alas, fine. You sure about that? Because okay. I can't really comment on that because I didn't listen to the whole interviews, but alright. Who cares? Not sure why you're so mad and comparing this to that. Sheesh. And another thing, it keeps going. Except for the past year, that Sasha Banks BT review was a disaster and my least favorite ever. Still is. See, didn't want it to run. Why didn't anyone go crazy over that? Get a grip. Stop picking and choosing. And if you are, please also pick the nice stuff too. Okay, thanks. And another thing, you could just tell, like, he didn't want to shut up. He couldn't shut up. Oh, and I was asked about it on the show. I didn't just randomly start talking about it. And yeah, the product isn't as good right now. It was superior 6 months. I said that. It isn't now. It may be superior again in 6 months. This happens. My opinion. It's not that serious, bros. Best part, I predicted this very reaction. Ha, amazing. Okay, I'm done. Off to watch some GCW. Now that's real wrestling. Blowing a kiss. Uh-huh. That's adorable. So, real quick, let me just say this. I think we need to be better at how we react to social media. To me, fine. Ariel was angry that Tony didn't give him the answers that he wanted. If I'm going to bring you on my show, I would at least expect you to give me something. And this is something that I had to learn myself as an interviewer, as a newbie in terms of the wrestling media. First off, I always ask the wrestlers, what questions are you not okay with? I always get that in. With Victoria, even, she had some questions she didn't want to be answered. Same thing with SoCal Val, and same thing with other incoming interviews that you have yet to see. They're not going to always want to talk about everything. You have to respect that. But I show them the questions beforehand, the topics beforehand, and they go, cool. I never just blindside them with a question that I know they're not going to like. And even if I don't necessarily talk to them beforehand, I can at least gauge what questions aren't okay. If I was to interview Stephanie McMahon, why the fuck would I talk about Vince McMahon for? You get me? Why would I talk about her dad? I saw something where a dude was harassing Linda McMahon about the Vince McMahon allegations. So, like, how'd you feel about your husband and the allegations? Like, what the fuck do you want her to say? Oh, he's a scumbag. It's her husband. I remember an interview with TMZ when they were stalking Sasha Banks and Naomi. Mercedes and Trinity. Are you going back to WWE? Are you going back to WWE? What? Why would you ask them that? Even something as simple as people asking The Rock if he's coming back to fight Roman Reigns. What do you want him to say? Like, you just need to be better at gauging the people you're talking to. I know he can't talk about, by he, I mean Tony Khan. I know Tony can't talk about CM Punk. Why go there? Omega and the Young Bucks. Why go there? MJF is a sore spot. Why go there? Cody Rhodes leaving, I'm pretty sure fucked him up. Why go there? Why would I want him to talk about Sammy, Eddie, Andrade? What is he going to say? Why would I want him to talk about Malachi Black? What do you want him to say? Why would you ask him those questions? And if you're going to ask him those questions, I agree with everyone else that said it, have the same balls to ask Triple H about Vince. But you know that you would never do that to Triple H. Why? Because you respect WWE. You respect Triple H. You respect Vince McMahon. You don't respect Tony Khan. Otherwise, you wouldn't have asked him. You wouldn't have even bothered to ask him that stuff. The flip side of that coin is, I don't think Tony should have done the interview, period. If I'm Tony Khan, I know I'm not going to say much. I know what he's going to ask me. So, all right, why bring me on? Why do the interview? I think Tony would have done him a favor if he would have just not done the interview. That's what I think. Ariel Helwin, I still think he's a great interviewer. I just feel like right now, everyone just wants to hate. They just want to hate on AEW now. It's the fun thing. It's the cool thing to hate on AEW. And I don't know, man. I'm at the point now where I don't think that's necessary. I think both products are still very good. Yes, there are some cracks in AEW's armor. WWE isn't perfect yet. It still won't be perfect when Triple H finally gets things back to normal. Or gets things back to a level where we can enjoy WWE all the goddamn time now. There is no such thing as a perfect company. So, I don't know why we're hating on AEW. I still love the product. I still love watching AEW. Clearly I still like talking about it because here I am. I don't know. I just feel like, for me personally, that it was completely unnecessary for Ariel to even go there with Tony. That's just me. Give me your thoughts down below about that interview, how you guys feel about it. I'm very curious to know how you guys will respond to that. Again, I just feel like it was just not necessary. Let's get to Dynamite. The Dynamite, live in Toronto, Canada. Their first Dynamite in Canada, by the way. And the crowd was hot. It was a complete sellout. Not a lot of people to fill up that arena. It was only like 7,000, but the capacity was small. I feel like you could have done a bigger arena. I think Tony should trust the audience a bit more, but okay. He still sold out 7,000, and they were hot throughout the entire night. They loved the show. They loved the product. Lots of pops. Almost a pop every segment. I don't think there wasn't one segment where the superstars didn't get a mega pop. I'm still trying to remember, like, no, everyone got a pop. Every segment got either a big pop or a monster pop. But that's what happens when you come to Canada. We kick things off with Renee Paquette. Renee Young has now joined AEW, the wife of Jon Moxley. She is now a part of the broadcast team. She is a Canadian, so it was cool that she debuted in her hometown of Toronto, Canada. That was dope. Man, she was emotional. She looks great, too. She looks great. So she'll be doing all the interviews backstage alongside Tony Schiavone. And who's that other guy? Alex Marvez? Whatever, that guy that no one cares about. Anyways, yeah, that's going to be great. And I'm hearing already that Warner Brothers Discovery wants to do... It's like they want to do a non-wrestling show that ties into AEW. So I suppose their own version of Talking Smack or WWE Backstage. I'm cool with that. I personally think we need some TV time for Ring of Honor too, because we got to get these Ring of Honor titles off of Dynamite. I'm sorry. I'm... Okay, I told you guys that I would wait till Chris Jericho's match to talk about it, but we'll talk about it in just a second. But, yeah, man, if we're going to get more TV time for AEW, which they deserve, which is actually a good sign when it comes to their upcoming TV deals. That kind of tells me that they are going to get more money and more TV time, which means they can do more, which I'm excited about. Whatever you do, use Renee more. Renee Young, Renee Paquette, whatever you want to call her, she is going to do wonders for AEW. She is literally the best, one of the best broadcasters in the media today. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Renee Young. I really am. This is going to be great. We go right into Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Luchasaurus. Jurassic Express have broken up, and now they're feuding with one another thanks to Christian Cage. Christian Cage did a promo with Renee before the match. He says it's great to be back in Toronto, and as the face of not only the city of Toronto, but the country of Canada, he guarantees a victory tonight for Luchasaurus. Dark Luchasaurus. This match between Jack Perry and Luchasaurus was excellent. Pay-per-view quality opener. Great chemistry, as you would expect them to have. And it did so many great things. Lots of callbacks to when they were working as a tag team. And the way that they were just so fluidly working with each other, you can just tell. You can just tell they probably have been rehearsing this for a while. Or, playing this. They wanted to kill it in their first match. We got a freaking sunset flip powerbomb through a table spot. Luchasaurus sitting up like the Undertaker. Oh shit. Christian Cage, excellent on commentary. Really adding to the heat. I'm loving this. This is great shit, man. All of this is great. And, of course, Christian interferes, distracts Jungle Boy, allowing Jurassic Park? Jurassic Luchasaurus. I don't know what I was going to say there. Allowed Luchasaurus to hit a choke slam, which, here's something I love about this match. Throughout the match, Luchasaurus was getting his arm worked on. He had a weak right arm. So during the match, when he goes to hit the choke slam, he hit the choke slam with his left hand, his left arm. So he didn't have as much power as it would have had if he hit him with the right arm, which made the kick out. See, it's little things like that that help the storytelling of the match. A left arm choke slam isn't as strong as a right arm choke slam because he doesn't use his left arm as much. So Jungle Boy kicking out of the choke slam on that aspect makes the most sense. See, little things like that I love. Just the little stuff. But of course, Jungle Boy does succumb to the 2-on-1 and loses to a burning hammer? Is that what it is? It looks like a burning hammer from Luchasaurus. Y'all can tell me what it is down below. But yeah, I loved that Luchasaurus did get the victory here. We're going to continue the feud. It continues the feud. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a match at All Out. All Out? My bad. Wrong show. Full Gear. All Out just happened. Full Gear. Oh, we might need All Out to re-happen again to fix all this, but nah. Full Gear, they're going to have a match. And I'm assuming he'll fight Christian at Revolution, right? Because that's when Christian will be healed up. He should be healed up by that point. Because his injury, I'm hearing his injury isn't like that bad. So he might be ready to go by February. Well, not February, March. March is when Revolution's happening. Oh yeah, he'll be ready by then. You would hope so. Stokely Hathaway and All Ego Ethan Page are interviewed backstage. They confront Private Party and Matt Hardy, basically saying we own Private Party's contracts, and Matt Hardy, we can own your contract too. Was it Isaiah Cassidy? If Isaiah Cassidy can't beat me on Friday. But if Isaiah Cassidy beats me on Friday, then they're free. They get to work with you again, Matt. Lots of contracts just being tampered with here. Lots of legal shit. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, we got people copyrighting people's catchphrases and contract tampering and bullshit. Like, Tony, what you doing, bruh? Like, from a kayfabe standpoint, Tony's a bad boss, too. You ever just... It's just like, ugh. Right now, bro, you can't catch a break. Samoa Joe and Wardlow defeat The Factory, Nick Camarado and QT Marshall, because they're fucking badasses. Samoa Joe and Wardlow, come on now. That's a monster tag team. A massively monster tag team. Just completely wrecked them. Samoa Joe gets the victory for his team with the Coquina Clutch on Nick Camarado. Afterwards, we have Prince Nana. Oh, Nana, what's my name? Oh, Nana. Prince Nana and the Embassy come out, and they're all like, we about to beat that ass. We about to beat that ass. Beat that ass. Until FTR's music comes. God, so much happening right now. Until FTR comes out. When their music hit, holy shit, the pop. The pop for FTR. FTR has the greatest reactions probably in wrestling today. Could be because they've had the best matches in wrestling this year, so maybe it's time to give him the belts. Just saying. Anyways, yeah, FTR is basically like, look, man, we the shit. Don't fuck with us. We'll beat that ass. So we'll fight you on Friday, since you want to run your mouth, and we have a tag team partner. And they say, when is Rampage this Friday again? It's at 10 p.m. A perfect 10. And they, shoot it to the stage. Canada's own Shawn Spears walks out with the Perfect 10 logo. Perfect 10 Shawn Spears is back. He's a babyface. Shawn Spears is a babyface, and he's Perfect 10 again. Sorry, Preston. Preston Vance, number 10. Can't use that no more. Sorry. Shawn Spears is back as a babyface, and he's doing the perfect 10 count. So there you go. Damn it, man. There's so much star power in this. Samoa Joe, Wardlow, FTR, and freaking Shawn Spears. Oh, goodness gracious. So much star power. Chris Jericho and 2.0 backstage. Angelo Parkins says Bryan Danielson is garbage and made this personal by trying to poach Daniel Garcia from the team. Chris Jericho says, I'm going to fight Danielson. I'm going to say Daniel Garcia. Bryan Danielson as Lionheart Chris Jericho. Of course he is. Then we get the Acclaim coming out to a rock star reception from Canada. I love it. Daddy ass Billy Gunn versus Shane Swerve Strickland. Holy shit. Billy Gunn, first off, Billy Gunn looks like $1 million. And it should be said that Billy Gunn is older than Road Dogg, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. And he looks better than all of them. Can I also say he looks better than he ever did? This is the best he's ever looked, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't think he's ever looked this good. And he's like 59. That's incredible. He looks amazing. And he wrestled amazingly. Still a great seller. He's always been a good seller, but god damn could he sell his ass off. Did he sell his ass off? He made Shane Swerve Strickland look like $1 million. This match was great. He did a little bit of the DX antics, but mixed it up with the scissor me daddy ass stuff. Shane does win the match by grabbing the ropes. Shane getting into that dark side. He's cheating. Cheating like a mofo. Because he wants them belts back. He be wanting them belts back now. So he's going to do what he has to do to get a win. Man. You already know where this is leading, right? Should I just go ahead and say it? We all know that Shane and Keith are going to get a rematch against the Acclaim. And more than likely are going to win those belts back. Sorry. Well, we'll talk about that when that line comes up. We'll cross that line when we get to it, huh? But anyways, okay, this is one of the things that kind of annoyed me. No, actually did annoy me about the show. So afterwards, we're gonna do the whole scissor me daddy-o, and here comes Smart Mark Sterling, right? He comes out and he goes, "You can't do scissor me because I have personally copyrighted the term scissor me." So now the Acclaimed can no longer say scissor me. What? What are you doing? What is this? Is this like a mini storyline? Are we going to fix this really quickly? I hope so, because this is stupid as hell. Oh, well, you can't say scissor me now, and I'm going to steal your thunder, and I'm going to say scissor me as a way to get heat on me. And I'm just like, yo, you just started getting this act over. I don't know if this is a good idea. This is probably not going to go over very well, but let's see. It probably might end up working out, depending on the storytelling. But to me, it's like, wait. So now you're going to tell the Acclaim they can't do it for storyline purposes. That's just going to hurt their momentum, bruh. Is that what you want to do? Alright. And it's Smart Mark Sterling and Tony Nese and shit. Like, do another tag team. Is there no other tag teams that we can work with? Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like it. Not just simple as that. I didn't like it. Maxwell Jacob Freeman did an interview backstage. He tells... Well, okay, before he even starts talking, Stokely Hathaway rolls up to interrupt him, and he's all like, "Look, bitch, don't interrupt me, or you're fired." As for the villain, a.k.a. William Regal, he then goes on. He says, in his world, he's about as villainous as Mary Poppins. William Regal being British. Anyways, they have a dark past, and he's sure Regal doesn't want to be reminded of it. As far as Yuta goes, he doesn't know if he was going to shake his hand last week. and knowing he has no choice but to be the bad guy every morning. And then such a great line. He goes on to say, "You don't like me? Well, tough shit. I don't like me. I wake up in the morning every single day hating who's in the mirror. I can't tell you how many times I've broken a mirror with this fist. But I am who I am because that's what makes me a champion. I had to be this way to be successful. Look at how far I've become. Look at how far I've come. Look at how much money I am. I have to be this way to make it in this business. Whether I like it or not is irrelevant. And doing this is going to make me a world champion." And I went, oh, I love this. I love that we're showing that he has a heart. We're showing that Max actually is sympathetic. He's amazing. Like, it's incredible to me how easy it is for him to make fans love him, but also hate him. Only the best can do that. When they want you to love them, they will make you love them. I think about John Cena for so many years. He's always had this, corporate chosen one aura around him. But when he needed to make you cheer him, he made it happen. Same thing with CM Punk. I know y'all can't stand him. When he needed to make you cheer him, he made it happen. When they needed to make you boo them, they knew what buttons to push. MJF, I love that he's teasing a potential good guy babyface star, or at least somebody that's sympathetic. So I'm curious to see where that goes. That was interesting. You know what was even more interesting? This promo with Hangman Page and Jon Moxley. God, this was an awesome promo. Tony Schiavone brings out Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley says it's good to be back in Toronto after 3 years. And for much of those 3 years, he's been AEW World Champion. Yeah, for the most part, he's held the belt probably more than anyone else. He's right. They come from far and wide, all sizes, shapes, and styles to try and knock him down off the mountain, but they ain't walked a mile in his shoes. Being world champion isn't fun to games. It ain't easy, and everybody wants something from you. And that's when Hangman Page walks out. He says that whatever Moxley has to say, he wants him to say it to his face. But actually, nah. You've had enough time to talk. Now it's my turn, boy. He said just a week ago, he respects him more than anyone else inside in this ring. And those words meant a lot to Hangman Page. To hear Moxley tell him that I respect the hell out of you. Because he's watched Moxley's past 3 years. And he's come to respect who he is inside the ring and outside of it. So this is becoming like the anti-CM Punk shoot promo that he did. So everything that he said against Punk, he's now saying for Moxley. But the reverse of it. There have been times in the past 3 years when he's looked at Moxley and seen the kind of man he wanted to be. But last week, he shattered the illusions that he had when he called him a nice kid. He said, "Do I feel like a kid to you?" And Moxley said, "You goddamn right, bitch. You's a kid. You's a little boy. You ain't a man." He even told him, "I don't think you're the same guy that knocked him off the 20-foot ladder a year ago." And he doesn't think he'll pull the trigger to beat Moxley next Tuesday. Just like he didn't pull the trigger against CM Punk. And then that's when Hangman Page got real. Hangman admits he might not be the same guy he was a year ago. He hesitated in May, and it cost him the title. He went for the trios titles with his best friends, and he watched them all disappear. He said even his old friends had disappeared. His old friends had disappeared. Ooh. And he's left with nothing. But he's still here because he's a man. He's 31 years old, a former world tag team champion, a former world champion, and he's seen family members lowered into the ground and seen new life brought into the world. He's a husband and a father, and he's been beaten down, and he keeps coming back, and then he beats his head. Mick Foley style. He tried to get some blood, didn't come out. He got a little bit of it. But then he says next week, he promises that he will walk out as AEW champion, and then he rubs the blood on Moxley's chest. You have my word. Excellent promo. Excellent promo from Hangman. Let me tell y'all something. I think it's a surefire deal that when it's all said and done, the wrestler of the year is most likely going to be Roman Reigns, but top 5, Jon Moxley and Hangman Page. This has been an awesome year for Hangman. What an excellent year for him. Top to fucking bottom. Real talk. This has been great. A great year for Hangman. And their match next week on Tuesday, I think it's going to be fire. By the way, Dynamite next week is Tuesday, not Wednesday. Tuesday. Remember that. Alright, let's get to it. Ring of Honor Championship. Ring of Honor World Championship. Lionheart, Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson. Real quick, match was awesome. They always have awesome matches. Let's just get to the ending here. So, throughout the match, the crowd was booing Bryan Danielson because Chris Jericho is the hometown hero. He's from Canada, so of course they love him more than Danielson. What can you do about that? But anyways, we do all this crazy stuff. Great match, great back and forth, good counteraction. Then the referee gets knocked down. So as the referee goes down, you see Chris Jericho get the ROH Championship, right? He gets the ROH Championship. And you're thinking, okay, when is Daniel Garcia going to come out? And Daniel Garcia comes out. And he strips Jericho of the belt. He says, nah, bitch, you can't have this belt. And then Bryan hits him with the running knee. And you're thinking, well, okay, I guess Bryan's winning this, right? No. Daniel Garcia, despite all the storytelling that we've been doing with him, turns and hits Bryan with the championship. And helps Chris Jericho retain. And rejoins the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society. What the hell? Okay, so let's get to it. Number 1. What is up with the Ring of Honor Championship getting more TV time, feeling more important than the AEW title? See, this is where I have to agree with fans that say we have too many championships. Because now, the championships that should matter, the AEW World Championship, that should feel like the most important one. Right now, the Ring of Honor title, that has a lot more going for it. And if we're not careful, that's going to feel more important than the AEW title. And that should never be the case. You can say that's Chris Jericho being as good as he is, making it feel important. I don't care. It should never be that way. I should not feel like the AEW Championship is secondary to the Ring of Honor title. And right now, it's starting to feel that way. Maybe that's why I feel like I'm watching Ring of Honor and not AEW. I don't like that. We need to get these championships on a different show. You need to get you an hour of TV time, or I don't care, get an hour on YouTube. Take Dark, turn it into a Ring of Honor show, and put those championships on Ring of Honor. Because I'm getting to the point now where these championships are starting to get on my nerves because it's taken away from the ones that should matter. That's number 1. Number 2, Daniel Garcia. What the hell was this? So, you had told us for the last 3 months that Daniel Garcia hates being a sports entertainer. At one point he did, he liked it, but now he doesn't. He hates being a sports entertainer. He wants to be known as a wrestler. And he was all about Ring of Honor. He was all about winning things the right way. He was all about the honorable way. And it was getting him momentum. And fans were getting behind him. Everywhere he went, you were hearing people go, "You're a wrestler. You're a wrestler." And he was getting over. He was getting over like Rover. And I was excited for it. I was there. I was in it. And then you do this. And just completely fuck it all up. What the hell, Tony? So what was the point of all that? What was the point of Bryan Danielson spending all that time trying to turn him away for Daniel to then turn on Bryan? The fuck was that? What are we doing? There better be more to the story. Because I would hate for him to go back to being the simple kiss ass that he was with Chris Jericho. There better be more to this story, because right now, I feel like we just wasted our time. Seriously. Now, people saying this reminds me of Jamie Hayter. I think they're extending Jamie Hayter's eventual babyface turn for later. I don't think we're done with that. Here, it feels like we're done. I feel like Daniel Garcia is going back to being a heel, and this was a missed opportunity. They fucked this up. But we'll see. Let's see where they go with that, because that's... I don't know. That's neither here or there. But Chris Jericho retains. He beats Bryan Danielson. Don't like that either. Why is Danielson losing a lot? Let's wrap this up. Women's Championship. Women's Championship. The TBS Championship is now in the hands of Nyla Rose, who stole the belt from Jade Cargill, even though she's not the champion. But she's carrying around the belt like she's champion. And then she'll be fighting Anna Jay this Friday with the championship. And Anna Jay was all like, well, if I beat you, I get to get the belt. What the fuck? Okay, that's just weird. Don't do that. Don't start tossing that belt around like it's the 24/7 title. That makes no sense to me. But alright, they're going to have a fight on Friday for the title that none of them own. Hikaru Shida and Toni Storm defeat Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter went out there and got a massive pop because the crowd loves her, as they should. And Hikaru Shida pinned Britt Baker. The hell? Hikaru Shida pinned Britt Baker? Hell yeah. I love it. Hikaru Shida. She deserves more love anyways. So she will be fighting Toni Storm next week for the AEW Women's Championship. So I'm excited about that. Is it the Eliminator title match or is it an actual championship match? It should be a championship match, but we'll see. But yeah, I think nothing really else to talk about. Jamie Hayter is still over like hotcakes. Hopefully she's able to carry this and then turn babyface and then beat Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship, which I'm ready for, by the way. I'm ready for that thickness to be champion. Orange Cassidy versus Pac for the All-Atlantic Championship is the main event. Fantastic match. Like I said, their first match in 2020 was their best, but this is easily their second best. This was outstanding. From the get-go, from the moment Orange Cassidy walked out, it was hot. The crowd loved it. And the wrestling here was fast-paced. I love that Pac was mocking the Phantom Kicks. The Phantom Kicks from Orange Cassidy. Love them. Those were so goddamn cool. Those Phantom Kicks are phenomenal. Tombstone Piledriver on the outside. Did a nice little near fall count out on Orange Cassidy. These DDT sells. The way Pac, and he's always been selling the DDTs like death, even when he was Adrian Neville or Neville in WWE. The way he sells these DDTs are just, even I'm just like, is he dead? Like, his body contorts every time he gets hit with a DDT. And I love that. I think that's really, really cool. Pac, later on, and this is a storyline that he's been doing throughout the last month or so. He tries to go get a hammer from ringside to then use on Orange Cassidy. Only this time, Danhausen was right there waiting for him. He does the finger poke, curses him. So now, here comes referee Bryce Howard. Is it Bryce Blackwell? What the hell is... the referee Bryce, whatever the hell his last name is. I think I actually said it right. Anyways, Bryce Remsburg. Bryce Howard, Bryce Blackwell, Bryce Remsburg, that's his name. He sees the hammer in Pac's hand, takes it, and Pac's like, all right, here, you can keep it. And then he grabs a hammer from underneath the ring. And then Orange Cassidy orange punches the shit out of him. Picks up the hammer. Bryce is like, if you use it, I disqualify you. And then then Orange says, fine, here. And then nice and fall from Pac, rolls him up. And then Orange hits him with not one, but two orange punches. 1, 2, 3. Canada loses their minds. We have a new All-Atlantic champion. Orange Cassidy wins his first AEW title. Congratulations. Great moment. Great show. Not perfect, but I enjoyed it. This was a great show. I thought everybody did their part. Everyone looked good. We should come back to Canada. We should definitely come back to Canada. Because I thought this show was phenomenal. How'd y'all feel about it? But yeah, let me go ahead and, first off, thank you once again for joining me here. Alright guys, let me get out of here. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, leave a comment, click the bell. Be sure you click all to catch all my content. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Donate, PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo. Super thanks if you're watching this after the fact. You will see me again on Friday for SmackDown. I will not be reviewing Rampage because it is taped. But I'll be up here immediately after SmackDown to do my SmackDown review. Anything else happening, I'll let you know. Be sure you subscribe to Raw Cognizance, my second channel that has something to do with wrestling. Check that out, Raw Cognizance. And yeah, let me get out of here. You guys have a great night. Always know you are welcomed right here in Alyx's World, the place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you.